Runway in sight. Woo, we are off. I'm not looking at it. Go around.
100, 30.
Ladies and gents, what's going on? We are finally at this point after 20 years or so development. This thing is finally. Well, we'll do a little quick flight, talk about some ins and outs of the airplane and my experiences. Take her over to Charleston, West Virginia. So, without further ado, let's send it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, here's what we're gonna do. First, we'll get some disclaimers out of the way. So the aircraft we are simulating is actually an MD-80, MD-82 model. Delta operates the MD-88, which I believe are the JT, run the JT-AD 219 engines, I believe, instead of the 217 alphas there on the MD-82. But nevertheless, systems are like for like, aside from a few differences there. So let's go ahead and dive into the flight deck here. Cockpit. I much prefer my camera in window view, but for some reason OBS doesn't like it. So went ahead and fired this guy up in a cold and dark state, make it a little easier. First thing we want to do is just kind of get a feel for what's going on here. So unlike most aircraft where the flight deck tends to be a little more ergonomically friendly, this guy not so much. Not sure what the engineers were thinking, or if at all. I mean, they put together a fantastic airplane, but did not think about the flight crew. It seems there's a lot going on up here. So we'll just kind of break it down here. Those of you who are kind of fresh to the type. Get my camera view sorted. There we go. All right. So for the most part, all this is just breakers here. We really won't mess too much with that. This, to me, probably from here down is really going to be your meat and potatoes, right? So this is your AC panel. You got your left gen, right gen, APU for the most part. This will remain the same, right? This will remain the same. So once you boot up into the sim, depending on if you go into a cold and dark state, there's a couple of ways you can get ground power, which is what we need to get this thing fired up. So you can start your radios. You need COM1 on, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So you can do this by getting some DC power to it. You can either use your batteries or you can flick your emergency power going. Make sure your audio panel is set to VHF1, and you can call up, which we all know how realistic this is, right? But you can call up ground supposedly and get ground power, get your jetway connected, so on and so forth. You guys know the routine as far as manipulating ground services in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So the maddog does have full integration with the default ground handling mechanism that 2020 uses. So it's not much different there. But once you get ground power connected, we'll get this little illumination here, which is what we want to see. But first and foremost, we'll go ahead and get the batteries on there, and then we'll go ahead and get left bus and right bus on. That's audio, so you can guys hear the aircraft a little better. Let's see. There we go. That's a little better for y'all. Sweet. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the galley power on. Coffee maker's going. That's where all that's connected to. So we got that going. Got that lit. And now we'll go ahead and you might see this. Just flip to standby. Back to primary. This is your pressurization controller. So just want to get that cleared, and we'll mess with that here shortly. So let's go back to our camera. Camera views here. Reset that. And let's fire up this old EFB. Just left click, hold it down for a little bit on the button there. And we'll let that warm up. And while that's cooking, try to get a few things going on at the same time. So I guess let me explain this too, because I ran into this when I first downloaded it. So initially, you'll run into your nav data page. So over here. Sorry. There we go. All right, cool. So you'll be greeted with this page here. Just make sure that's current. If not, I use nav data. I know most others do as well. Just make sure in your nav data application for 2020 is updated and ready to go before you jump in there. But nav data is good, so we'll go to position initialization, and we'll get Atlanta dialed in there. Copy that over. Boom, in there like swimwear. So I'll bring us to this page here, and there we go. Bouncing around between views. So here's I think the really nice thing about this add-on. And I think other products are gonna be following suit as well. I think I think we all know what I'm talking about there. So we'll import our OFP, which OFP we'll get from SimBrief. I think EFPX, the flight planner from way back in the day. Not sure if most of y'all remember that one, but you can also import your flight plan data in there via that program as well. So it's a little different from P3D. Not gonna lie, fellas, it's a little different, but we'll get. I was totally about to put DFW in there. All right, so we'll put Atlanta. I just my last ship was out of DFW, so confirm that, and then we'll put Charleston, West Virginia, which is Chuck Yeager Field, I think, and we'll confirm that in there as well. We'll load it down, and we'll get check entries, which I think is my weight and balance is off because I don't have anything. I don't have any aircraft data in SimBrief for the 82. I think it comes default. SimBrief does with the 82 numbers, but I'm not sure how accurate they are. So it kind of puts us weird. But according to our weight and balance here, looks like we are within limits. Also, one thing to note: all weights are in kilograms. Not sure what happened there, but I know I reported it. But all weights are in kilograms, so we'll just something to be mindful of. I mean, the airplane flies the exact same, right? But just something to be mindful of there. Let's go ahead and get our barometric pressure put in there. So we got that loaded. We'll go back over here into our flight management screen. Backlit over there. All right, sweet. Head over here to menu, and we'll go ahead and menu, go to AKR's pre-flight, and I'll get all that set up. So flight number is 1154, and the date, there we go, the 30th. Reporting this guy on the 30th. Origin will be Kilo Alpha Tango Lima. And destination will be Kilo Charlie Romeo Whiskey. that in there, and estimate time of departure. I'm sort of lean over here and let's see. All right, 1726. We'll do 17. So it's just a little bit to get ready. Estimated time en route, not long, fellas. It's maybe hour. I think it's like an hour and 7 minutes. With the dispatch, with the release heads, we'll plug that in there. And let's see, we'll go ahead and get airline ID and Delta Alpha Lima 1154, and we'll plug that in like so. So that kind of initializes the flight, so to speak. So return there, and then we'll put some fuel information in there also. So fuel on board, looks like we got 8185 in the tank, so put that in there. That'll be our block, and then we can also confirm this is true as well. So actually in the tank, so 8150. Plug that fella in there, and taxi at will be 300 and that in there. And let's we'll go ahead and do this. Got it backwards there. So 3,284 kilograms, and we'll block out at 8,000 kilograms there. There we go. All right, we'll send that. All right, and then we'll go and return. And let's see. Apologies in advance, guys. It's kind of weird. Just yesterday I was flying this thing in P3D, and now we're in 2020, and we all know the little nuances of 2020. So it's weird. it's weird getting readjusted there. So here's a release for this trip. So we'll be doing heading out of Atlanta to Charleston, and we'll go to plan summary there. I like kind of building it out myself. You can import as well, but I like building it out. So here's our legs here. So we'll take, looks like it'll be out of Atlanta, L2 direct VXV, direct TV, and then direct Charleston. So no, really nothing in regards to departure procedure. So it's fairly straightforward. Like straightforward. So, and again, everything's in kilograms, so this may throw you. Hopefully we'll see an update to that soon. So we're going to have to kind of balance it out here. Let's see. It's actually not too bad entering the information from this position, so we shouldn't have to. I don't think we'll have to see. All right. Let's see. This go. There's Charleston, and let's looks like it's fairly straightforward. So, two. Then from there, direct VXV, Victor, X-ray, Victor. Then from there, we'll go next. And from there, Hotel Victor, Quebec. Hotel Victor, Quebec. There we go. And we'll activate that feller there, and we are good to go. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some weather. Get weather right quick. Go back. We're not on that sim as right now, so one. Alright, cool. Alright. Go over here into our charts. Hopefully it doesn't do this thing where it logs me out like every trip. Yes, it worked. Sweet. So let's get that going there. Enter.
Atlanta airport information.
There we go. Got that right. Save our ears for a moment. Alright, let's see.
Atlanta airport info. Atlanta airport.
Alright, there we go. So typically most MD-80s and 717s, all that fun stuff, they come out of Concourse E in Atlanta. So we're facing these will be on this side. I'm thinking 8 guys, because it looks like we've got the winds coming out of the southeast, almost directly out of the south. So we can go either way, be a pair of a crosswind, but I think runway 8. We'll go ahead and take 8. So we'll just make sure we plan accordingly for that. So we'll go to the departure page, runway 8. Execute that, and again we'll vector ourselves. Since we're not in VATSIM, we'll vector ourselves and give ourselves vectors out of the terminal area, and then direct to node 2, or we may just skip that and just go direct to the preceding waypoint. So, I mean the following waypoint. So we'll go ahead and get a route. All right, we can go ahead and get all this fun stuff, but we do that. Let's get that cleared up. And we'll come over here and then we'll just go ahead and start the boarding process, I think. Should be all set there. Alright, so boarding process has begun. And get that going. Let's see. Outdoors. Alright, so first things first, we'll go ahead and we'll start with the getting the field information in, so the flight management system knows what's going on with the field. So again, we're in kilograms, so we'll enter as 8.1 tons and do a / for the schedule, which would be normal. We'll enter that there. Zero fill weight, not sure yet. Wait till we get numbers on that. And it's going to do 1.5 tons for reserve. Cost index 35, that's fine. Let's see, a cruise altitude. Let's see what dispatch gives us, and then we'll look at the reality of what this aircraft will actually do. Because it's, again, this is a early version of the MD-80 series. This is the aircraft with the 217 engine, so not as much thrust output, so performance will probably no doubt reflect that as well. So we'll let's see here what we got going on. Got Delta Airlines. Oh, flight log. That's what I want. All right. Let's see. Again, it's only like 300 some odd miles. Cost index of 33, so we can update that. 330. I don't think we'll make that, guys. I think we might be lucky to hit 300. And actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll actually do 270. So we can just put 270 here. Line select key that. Get that put in there. And should be all set there. Cost index looks like the numbers are calling for 33. We'll get that entered there. Cruise winds will come down to en route winds. Then we'll sometimes I gotta do a little turculating, so yeah, let's see, we'll do 290 20 28. Okay. And lines like that. Get our top of climb OAT. Again, we'll wait for those until we get final numbers there. All right, so and of course we're doing an abbreviated flow here, right? We're not going through any of the tests or whatnot. But if you did want to do for your stick checker or whatnot, a lot of that will be up here. You can do your stall test. You can test your system 1, system 2. Not sure. There we go. There's system 2. Wind shear as well. You can do tests. You can test that. Your max speed test. Wind shear test is up here. If you decide to do test your fire loops detection system, I just use the Sarah Moss roll and kind of roll it once, I guess. That's the best way of putting it, and that'll give you that. So we'll also do a flex departure as well. And then we're just going to go straight up to 270. We won't delay. Those of you who are using the Bravo users, so far so good on the Bravo. Really hadn't ran into any issues setting it up. I would say, if anything, if there's anything I recommend, double check your axis. I've already got my axis set up for I guess your typical 2-engine commercial setup. So there's that. Let's go ahead and get rid of that there. And let's see kind of where we're at in the process here. Don't want to burn too much fuel if we don't have to. I do like that though. That's a huge. I don't even think P3D. No, actually P3D didn't, as P3D relied on GXX. So maybe one day we'll get GXX. I'm sure this might get completely revamped. Even with GXX, that's pretty cool. So if we ever do see GXX in the sim, it'd be pretty sweet to see that. So let's get that going there. And let's see. So we got 2 isolation valves here also while we're kind of waiting. Let's see if I can find a good vantage point. Here we go. I want to make sure both our bleeds are open. I'll just go ahead and open both of them since we're going to be getting some airflow here shortly. Alright. And I believe our position lights are also tied to our ground for a wheel chock. So let's go outside real quick. Oh, it might be the beat that this is tied to. I know on the P3D version, it's either the position lights or the beacon lights are tied to your chocks there. So just something to kind of keep in mind there. Yeah, just gorgeous model. We'll dive back into what really matters. There we go. Let's see. No printouts. I don't think they've implemented the printout function. Again, on the P3D version, there was a printout version. I mean, a printout that came out on that side, but probably not there. So here, get back over to. Let's see. Let's get about halfway. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the APU started. There's a couple ways you can do it. Got your DC pump, which is of course your fuel pump that's powered by DC power. Depending on what FCOM you looked at, the early ones I remember they did prefer that the start pump be used to provide fuel. But actually, if you can come off your right aft pump, one of your right pumps, and that'll power your APU also. Since we do have AC power coming from our GPU, we'll go put that fella in run. Let's hold start switch for a little bit till you see that RPM start coming up there, and let it fall. Bring load back into that run detent, and she'll start firing up for you. firing up for you. Alright. Looks like we're about winding down. Looks good there. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for those final numbers, and we'll finish the last of our cockpit preparation. All in all, I mean, just doing one trip in this in the guy. I mean, really haven't seen too many issues that will prevent one from going from point A to point B. I mean, I think this is probably what really got me here. I mean, definitely we're not getting this in in P3D, that's for sure. That is for sure. Head back up front here. Alright, so it looks like the APU's been up for a while. There's a little bit of a warm-up period. We'll go ahead and open up our pneumatic valve off the APU, and we'll go ahead and get packs number 1 and number 2 going. If you don't see your pressure come up here immediately, give it a little bit, and they will come online. Just so long as you got both your bleeds open, and your pneumatic valve is open coming off your APU. Go ahead and get the seatbelt signs on there. Alright. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So it looks like pressure is up both sides. And let's see if we got our error numbers yet. May have gotten the preliminary load sheet. Alright. So let's see. Oh, cool, got our final load sheet. So that's what we're looking for. So zero fuel weight is 53.7. You guys remember that? 53.7? Let's see here. Alright. Let's see. Alright. What was it, guys? 53.7? Alright. There's 53.7 window there. It should give us our gross weight. And we'll also need our takeoff weight as well. Since we're going to be going over here to our back to our EFB to get some numbers for our takeoff data. Alright, and that should be on page 2, I think. So our tow, 61, 615, 74 feet. Alright, so we'll go over here, go to performance, and Atlanta. So you can't free type it using your keyboard. You got to use the on-screen keyboard, which is fine, whatever. Let's see. So I'm just left clicking to cycle through the runways. For 8 right, and the winds were 175 at 17. And I'll also include put some chapters as well, so you don't have to listen to me talk the entire time to get you know what information you need. Alright, 24 degrees Celsius. And I knew it, I was going to forget it. Alright, so let's see what this guy's takeoff weight's going to be 60 tons there. Alright, 60 tons, 574. 6574. Alright. And I got a QNH of, drum roll please, 1019. 1019. 1019, enter, calculate, and let's see here. Oh, what in the world was that? That may have been me, guys. Let's see. That may have been me. Alright, enter. Let's see. Now let's try it again. Yeah, I was like, where to get that from? Alright. Yep, so that's totally a lot more reasonable than what we had in there earlier for some reason. Alright, so looks like our takeoff flaps to be 6.5, so we'll use dollar flap for that, and then we got our V1 numbers there. Let's get the V1 numbers out of the way, since that's a little easier to digest. So let's see, 1v1 is 141. 141 for V1, and then we'll rotate at 146. Rotate at 146, and V2 will be 155. 155. Box there, and then while I'm thinking like 155, right, I'm gonna go ahead and get 155 in one go. Alright, so that's cool. Got that in there. So we're doing a flex takeoff. In order to do a flex takeoff in the MD-82, what we'll need to disconnect or turn off ARC. It's like automatic. Press something or another. I have to go back in the manual to find that one, but we'll disengage or turn off ARC. We'll take out flex there in the TRP, and looks like the assumed temperature will be 50. So we'll put 50 in the box here, and so we got 50 on both sides of our FMA. And so that's good there. And now we'll head over here. We'll head over here to our, this is our takeoff computer, takeoff condition computer. We'll go back because we're going to need the departure CG. So takeoff 15.7. So looks like it's about there. Oh, and it entered it for us for the most part, so that's good. So depending on how you have your load manager set up, it can enter this information for you. So to deal with it, your flaps are set to 6.5. So the only thing you need to do here is you need to go over to your dial flap and dial in 6.5. More roll to the wheel. There's 6.5 there, and cool. That's that. So we're down here. We'll go ahead and we're gonna guess we'll test it.
TCAS system test. Okay.
Awesome. Again, I'm still there. We go. Can roll it. We'll put juice. All right. Awesome. Another thing to look out for once you're getting everything set up, if you notice your standby standby attitude indicator kind of off kilter, uncage, you just cage it here, and it'll get everything nice and lined up for you. And also, let's see here, almost there, guys. I know it is a lot. This is definitely not an airplane you will say got a 10-15 minutes. I'm going to send it real quick. It does take a good bit for sure. So now that we have all the data entered in there, what we want to do, just a couple ways you can either manually set your bugs, the old school way, the way nature intended, or you could just left click it and it'll set your bugs for takeoff configuration. So that is that. And we are about all set. Looks like everybody is boarded, and then we can verify that under our aircraft services menu. And another thing, guys, and I totally missed it. So before you really do anything, especially if you have maintenance turned on, go over to your maintenance page and just double check to make sure everything is in order. Also, I'm not sure how far they fully implemented the maintenance simulation, but I know previously the program actively tracks oil consumption, so you don't want to be in that situation. So just something to kind of keep in mind also. So it looks like we're all ready to go. So we'll go ahead and close our aircraft door, which I think it's still open. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and close our aircraft door. Shut it there, and just kind of work our way down as far as it flows. We'll come off the ground power, galley power off there. Since I'm getting ready to light them up, we'll go ahead and get both packs 1 and 2 off real quick. We got no fuel in the steering tank, so we'll go ahead and just get the left and right, forward and aft pump on. No need for the start pump. Should be good there. Emergency lights are off. We'll go ahead and clear that. It's just cabin telling us we're ready. And yeah, should be just about ready to go. Go back to aircraft services, underground. We'll disconnect the GPU. And let's see, it might be tied to the gate also. That could very well be. Let's go back over here. And I'm not sure, you guys may have heard me on the podcast. Those of you who listen to the Close Traffic podcast, I'll link a description in there below because you have it. But I'm not a huge fan of the default ground service. So if you hear a snide remark from me regarding the default ground services, and yeah, heads up there. So let's see. There it goes. Looks like it's pulling it away there. I think we're all set. Should be good to go. Alright, so for the most part, we've got an overhead panel set up for pushback, aside from the engine start. Being that the MD-80 is really kind of a two-person show. Yes, guys, I am cycling. There we go. Alright, so anti-collision light on, position strobe light right now set to position. So hydraulic pump panels located down here. So these are our engine-driven hydraulic pumps, meaning there's an accessory pump that provides hydraulic pressure attached to the engine. As of right now, it's not really doing us any good, but and by default, they're kind of left here. But our electrically driven, our auxiliary and transfer pump, we need to get those guys on. You can also kind of hear them as well. Hear the little hum back there in the background. So see if I can bounce over here. Alright, so it looks like we're set there. So I'll go ahead, and normally I do this during push, but I'll go ahead and kind of go through this. This is a little easier. I can kind of take my time and so you guys can see as well what I'm doing. So the engine start process of the Maddog is a little different. Those of you who aren't familiar. Everything, just think of everything in the Maddog as being mechanical. Very, very little interaction with the inner processes of the airplane being controlled by any sort of digital process. So that being said, you got two igniters here, system A or system B, depending on how you want to run it. You know, departure, system A, arrivals. Just depending on company. Depending on SOP there. So I guess for the for this video, we'll come up system B, and the this is your basically your switch that controls the start valve for the engine. You really want to pay attention to this one, and I'll tell you why. Once the aircraft starts up, if that's not shut, you can potentially damage the engine. So once you ensure you got a rise in oil pressure, once everything stabilizes and your AC generator kicks on, which you'll hear it, then you want to go ahead and close your start valve. So we'll spin N2 up to 23%, and we'll send it. So let's go ahead and get our emergency lights on, and galley power is off. Left and right packs are off as well. We want to verify we got above 40 psi, so that looks good there. And we'll go ahead and call these guys for a push. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. Wow, that's really weird.
November 172 Sierra Tango, pushback request accepted.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Alright. So we'll let him We'll let him push us there. I guess I need to keep that up, right? Alright, so while we're getting pushed, we'll go ahead and make sure we're all clear. Ignition, fuel, air. Alright, that's all she needs. We'll go ahead and send it. And we got N2 coming up. Oil pressure's coming up. Got N1 there, slowly coming up. Again, we're going to hold her off to about 23%. And that may vary. If you're doing a turn, you may want to spin her a little longer to get a cool start. So, got 23%. We'll go ahead and send it. Oil pressure's coming up. Good. Got EGT. We'll watch that EGT to peak. And you really want to kind of guard that switch. We'll go ahead and stop it there. It should be far enough. Oh my gosh, it's awful. Alright, gotta close that start valve there. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Alright, so got number 2 stabilized there. We'll go ahead and send it on the left. N2. Full PSI slowly coming up. And again, if you have the ability to kind of map these switches to something, that'll be even better. That way you can guard them in case you do have a hot start, you can react to it quickly. Alright, there's 23%. Oil pressure, oil temp looks good. There's EGT coming up nicely. And we'll kind of watch her there. And again, you'll hear the generator. Very good. You hear the bus close there, so it's good. We'll go ahead and close that start valve. We'll get the ignition off. And again, it's kind of work our way down here. So we'll go ahead and get the APU off. Galley power on. We'll get the pneumatic valve closed up to APU. Get our left and right pack on. And we'll come down here. Close our bleeds, both sides. And we'll go ahead and get our pitot on. We'll show NTIs on. And again, you'll see what I mean here. Once we get the flaps down, we'll get an alarm regarding the arc, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and get those flaps in there, and be mindful, especially if you're using dial flap. Just make sure you actually hit your takeoff flaps there. So we're at 6.5, so it should be like around this neighborhood here. There we go. So confirm got good hydraulic pressure there. And we'll get ART and up. But again, once we get the climb phase and we get everything, get the airplane cleaned up, get it situated, we'll actually re-engage ART and all will be well. So, alright, now we'll go ahead and turn off the APU. And yeah, everything's good. Got good power coming off both generators there. Everything's all set up top. And yeah. Oh, so we'll go ahead and get our FGCP set, our flight guidance panel. Get both directors on. And this is just my flow. Press the toga button. We'll go ahead and arm nav. And we'll go ahead and arm altitude as well. We'll get our nose lights on, depending on day or night, whatever. You can put them on bright, whatever. Totally up to you. And yep, we'll send it. So again, we're taking 8 right, so we can come up to our panel here and kind of get our bearings. Get our bearings there. There's the APU shutting down. Alright. That guy come up. Taxi. In airport info. There we go. Alright, sweet. There we go. Alright, so we'll be making a left hand. And I should have totally knew that, y'all, but Yeah, it's been a day for sure. I've been up since this guy released at 5 a.m. That's how much of a mad dog nerd I am. Alright, so we'll slowly add a little throttle, and just one caveat to the Mad Dog, just something you want to keep in mind. The fuel on the Pratt & Whitney's is mechanically metered, so there is a delay from throttle application to actual engine output. So don't be alarmed if it's like not going as quickly as you want it. Just add a little power, see what she gives you, and just kind of make adjustments accordingly from there. That's kind of what I'm doing here. There we go. And just kind of rolling back. It does a really good job of with the ground friction, so nothing too crazy. All right. All right, and right now I'm just kind of using my pedals here. And the steering tiller is functional. I think actually as of actually day one, the tiller was functional on here, so it's pretty sweet. They got that included in there as well. All right, and then also you want to make sure that your takeoff trim is set in accordance to your takeoff condition computer also. We'll add a little bit of go juice to it. And again, you'll see your EPR kind of slowly come up there. Right. And let's see, I think we'll go ahead and actually we can take this guy down. Alright, let's see. Finally got some there. There we go. Take Foxtrot down a little ways, and then we'll jump across. I think this is default Atlanta, so it's not I don't often fly out of Atlanta in 2020, so I didn't even think to make sure that I had my my third party scenery installed. Apologies in advance for that, guys. It's kind of a poor excuse for Atlanta, but hey, we're about to be not looking at this place here shortly, so. It's like I found out right when I get ready to set up the video. I was like, well, guess we're still sending it today, so. All right. All right, now we'll come up here. we'll hold short right here. It's just a little weird trying to make that turn and stop in the middle of the turn. Alright, cool. So we'll go ahead and notify the cabin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're number 1 for takeoff. Flight attendants, please be seated.
Alright. And since we're, rolling by ourselves here, operating a MD-80 by ourselves, so we'll go ahead and speed preemptive and get some of this stuff on. Alright, so strobe lights on, landing lights on both sides, engine ignition, we're going to select that to both. We want both on that. Speed brake, we want that armed. And auto brake set to takeoff, otherwise she'll yell at you. And I will confirm flaps set to 6.5, which that's weird, they're not. Remember we had those set earlier, so okay, we'll go ahead and set them. That's why we always that's why we always verify. So we'll go ahead and get this checked. Set. All right, there's 6.5 there. Everything looks good. And all right, sweet. So we'll be departing. So what we'll do, we'll depart runway 8, and we'll fly runway heading. So we'll go ahead and bug in 0080. We'll go ahead and bug that in. And actually, what you can do, so we're going to do a heading select. So we're going to pull it. Let's see. So let me do it. There we go. Alright, so we're going to pull it, and we'll fly runway heading, and yeah. And give ourselves vectors, so go ahead and apply some breakaway thrust. Those wheels going. Adding a little more there. And she's starting to roll. I normally I'll try not to go much past 1.1 ether. Alright. So basically the process of taking off in the maddog. You want to stabilize at 1.4. Once you're stable at 1.4, hit your auto throttle. Kind of follow your throttles there to your takeoff of takeoff EPR of 1.8, and send it. Files clear, runway's clear, clearance received. Alright, see if we can do this and not goose this up. Alright. Alright, let's see. You're lined up there. Alright. Let's see. Alright, take off. Let's set thrust. That's 1.4 there.
Takeoff thrust set. Clear. Knots, cross check.
Alright, some crosswind correction in there. Slowly start working. And she is very, very sluggish.
Tango, you are not cleared to take off.
Blah, blah, blah. She is very, very sluggish on departure. Especially at low speed. So let's go ahead and get everything set up here. So we'll go ahead, re-engage ART. Climb thrust set. And engage VNAV. Let's see. I can start getting the airplane cleaned up.
Flap 0.
And let's see, let's give ourselves some vectors here. Ooh, she's bumpy. Yeah, it's bumpy today. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and engage auto here to help us out. And retract slats.
Slats retracted.
And we'll do our, if I can get climb flow out of the way. So, there we go. Hydraulic pumps, we'll set those to low, aux and trans pump to off. And it looks like we're about at new 2, so we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and run direct 2. New 2 and engage nav track. Alright. And we'll go zoom out a little bit. One thing we did miss arm before takeoff flow. Going to go ahead and arm your weather radar, but since weather radar isn't implemented yet, you know, it's not hurting nothing. So go ahead and get those igniters off. Go to off. And we'll double check, make sure pressurization, make sure the cabin's climbing. And also want to make sure this guy's lever here is in the up position. If not, the outflow valve won't automatically actuate. It's thinking you're going to manually do it and have some issues there. So. We are gone. Amazing view coming out of Atlanta. Got smoke effects as well. Really, really nice additions. Check out some more of these views here. Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. That back up front here real quick. Alright, coming at 8.8. We'll go ahead and lean over and get the landing lights up. Let's double check the engine instruments. Everything looks good and within limits. And I love this as well. How non-symmetric some of your readings are, which is true to life. You know, especially those older Pratt and Whitneys. I mean, there's definitely some asymmetric action going on, so it's pretty cool to see. Looks like we're above 10. We'll go ahead and jump over here over to the captain's side if I can do it. Here, just arrow over. There we go. Actually, we'll probably hold this for a little bit. Probably hold this a little bit, so I'll be coming through a few clouds here. Really can't wait till we see the ability for developers to start implementing weather radar functionality again. All right, let's go ahead and keep those signs off. coming up through 11,000 there. And for the most part, I mean, that's really the most, again, it's just my opinion, but I would say probably the most difficult or the most time consuming when it comes to process, when it comes to getting this airplane off the ground is the setup. With the setup and departure, you're very busy. So just, just I guess a little word of advice: just make sure you're really comfortable with the airplane before you jump on like flightsim. And even for me, like, and again, like I flew this same aircraft in P3D, and there are certain nuances that are different, when you're dealing with 2020. So, you want to be sensitive to that, and make sure you're aware of the little idiosyncrasies. But for the most part, I mean, just a solid airplane. I mean, it's not hard. It's just a lot of things that we tend to take for granted when we're operating, like a 737 or Airbus, something like that. You have to do on your own on the maddog. So, but yeah, for the most part, everything looks good to go, and we'll continue on to. All right, finally got some weather here, so we'll go ahead and dial in approach real quick. Shouldn't take us too terribly long. So we'll go to arrival. And actually, we'll shoot the ILS 5 approach. And let's see. Dial the ILS 5 approach. We'll go ahead and execute that guy. Let's see, we'll go ahead and look up real quick again. I can brief it to you at least. Alright, cool. So we'll be shooting the ILS runway, ILS to localizer runway 5 approach. And of course it is current. Got the AS information here, so I'll actually, while I'm not doing anything, see if that in there. Six. Start 1376. Alright, cool. Got approach tower there. Should be those. So the localizer. That'll be let's see. Let's be 111.0. I mean, sorry, decimal 3. Final approach course would be 052. Be the final approach course. Alright, and we can also cross-reference this as well with what we have in our approach reference page here. 130 and then 053, but our chart saying 052, so we'll go with that. Now we do have some terrain in the area. Kind of drill down here. I can show you guys. Let's see here. So we got an MSA 3600 there. Kind of more so. I got more so this quadrant than 4,000. So I think we keep 4,000. About 4,000 should be good. Let's see, and then once we initial approach fix, will be shoal, and for the most part, looks like a straight. For the most part, looks like a straight in. Let's see, and we'll set our decision height. Set that guy for 250, and we can bug that in. Right here. That's so I can oh, there we go. Now you can actually click on it there to kind of get a better idea in the plan view. So this is another nuance that's kind of weird for me. course, P3D, you have the ability to utilize the 2D display, which makes life a little easier instead of having to constantly move the camera around. So we'll go ahead and keep this cold. This continuity. Actually, what we'll do, we'll go direct shoal, which will put us our top of drops to add to. And we'll set for about 5,000, maybe a little bit behind. Oh no, we're good. Good. I figured that would have put us past our top of drop, but I think we're good. It definitely gets challenging in the on the quicker trips with the Mad Dog, since there's so much to do. So much to do to get prepped. Definitely got to stay ahead of the airplane. And again, you know, with the fact that we're flying an MD-82 instead of an 88, although you know, we lose a little bit on the bottom end from a performance perspective, since we don't have the higher rated engines like the MD-83 or the 88. However, once she gets to cruise, it does really well as far as cruise performance. So those short hops, you definitely want to stay ahead of the airplane for sure. We'll go ahead and hit that old fasten seatbelt sign and make sure that's set to 052. Alright, cool. So we're already briefly approached. Now we'll go ahead and set our TRP to go around, just in case. Also, just another advisory, something to keep in mind, icing does affect the airplane. It also affects the engine, so you start getting a massive amount of ice accumulation on the wings or on the engines. You could have a flame out, or you could have a degradation of controllability of the airplane. So definitely want to be aware of that. And if you need icing, just open up your bleeds, open up your bleed air valves, and hit your either airfoil icing or your cowl icing for your engines, and it should be good. There's also anti-icing capabilities for the tail as well, and I believe it's timed. Fuel heat, something you want to keep an eye on also as we're starting our descent. Longer trips, it tends to be more of an issue, but once you start getting below 0 degrees Celsius, you start getting ice formation in the fuel. So something you want to keep in mind as well. And basically just consists of hitting these fuel heat switches left and right. And basically, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. If I am, please hit me up in the chat. It's been a while since I've looked at the manual on the fuel system. But it runs the fuel basically near the oil cooler, and of course you get that transfers of heat from the oil cooler to the fuel, heating up the fuel. So just a few little tidbits to kind of keep in mind. Let's see. We'll zoom out just a little bit. Let's kind of give ourselves a little bit of a better of a view. Yeah, just a gorgeous airplane. I don't know, guys. I will say this. If I had like a little gripe, I will say this. The textures do seem like some were carried over from P3D, but you know, guys, I am not even upset. Even in P3D, they weren't bad. If that means I get better performance by having P3D-like textures, cool. For the most part, I can read everything. No issues at all. Performance isn't bad. If I'm in like heavily populated areas like Atlanta, like we just left out of Atlanta, it gets a little weird, you know. Of course, I gotta have an aging machine, so that's expected, right? But for the most part, as far as performance, I have like an i7 6700K. RTX 3060 Ti, 16 gigs of the DDR6, and I'm sorry, DDR5, and it's for the most part not too bad, not too bad at all. So we gotta get that altimeter thing to 3000. Everything looks good there. We've already briefed our approach. We've already briefed our arrival. Already briefed our approach. Once we get into the terminal area, pretty much know what we're going to do. The biggest thing right now is energy management. We want to make sure we manage our energy quite well. The VNAV is pretty good, but you want to stay on top of it. She does get a little slippery once we start the descent. So we want to be mindful of that. One awesome tool that we do have at our disposal are the flaps and slats. They have a really high deployment speed. I think slats are like 280 if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can lower it down here. So yeah, you can kind of read this here. Geared down, we can do that 300 knots. Flaps extend, we can extend out mid to 280, full 240. Flaps down, you know. So it's quite maneuverable once you get into the terminal area and you start dealing with faster traffic. You know, you can make some things shake. You can make some things happen. You know, having that capability. So that's pretty cool to see that, and I've definitely used it many a time in P3D. So looking pretty good here. So in terms of getting our VR speeds and all the fun stuff, let me get them down here. I normally land at flaps 28. Very seldom do I ever use flaps 40. And to set that as far as your bugs, just left click, then left click again, and that gives you your speed there for your arrival. Alright, so coming out of 13,000 there, it's kind of watching my speed here. If I need to drill down to my MD, I can. And we're looking for about $5,000 there. I think $5,000 to keep us well above that terrain, any terrain we may run into. Although I do want to see if terrain, cool, it is active on here, so that's sweet. That's good to know. So again, as of right now, we don't have any weather capability just yet, but it is coming. It is coming. Susan Sobo basically opens up the door for it. It is coming. I'll take a little moment there to bask in the awesomeness there. Just a beautiful machine. Beautiful. Very versatile. I mean, you used to see these things all the time, but especially before the CRJ 700s and the 900s really became mainstay for a lot of operators. This is what you will see in their stead. Either that or the DC9s, DC932s. You see a lot of those. Very versatile machines. All right, there we go. Here we go ahead and then stab on the brakes for a minute and get up under at 250. Alright. And we're below 10, so we'll go ahead and get those hydraulic pumps to high, which basically does nothing but bring our hydraulic pressure up to about 3,000. So alright, let's see, watch and see what this guy does here. I'm actually going to start slowing down a little more. Let's see if I can hear about 210. And again, this is when we start really using the versatility of the MD-80. I'm actually going to go ahead and start calling for slats.
Slats extended.
There we go, looking good. So that'll put us at about 5,000 just before shoal, just for our initial, and Should be cooking with bacon grease here, fellas. So we'll see how she does here. Okay, we can go ahead and come out the speed brake also. And again, just kind of monitoring there. Most of the times you're going to be in vertical speed anyway, especially if you're dealing with, if you're on VATSIM or something. I mean, you need to make the aircraft do what you want it to do, and a lot of times VNav won't allow you to do that, especially on older, you know, when you're dealing with older technology such as what's in the MD-80, you will run into that. So, you know, when in doubt, fly it out, right? So, you know, disengage VNav. You know, get the airplane to do what you need for it to do within limitations, of course, and have at it. So, looking pretty good here. I'll let it come on down about 200. And this is when we're gonna flip over there. Let's kind of monitor that guy. Let's see. All right. Right. Go ahead and arm. Oops. That. Alright, I'll go ahead and arm that next notch of flaps there as well. The one I would guess you can say vulnerability, given its design. It's a little wonky at low speed, so the autopilot won't let you get below a certain speed, call a certain speed in the FGCP without having your flaps configured appropriately. You actually go into like a low limit state here in the FMA. So yeah, it won't let you do anything too crazy. Let's go ahead and there's fully speed brakes armed. And let's get that armed as well. Alright, ILS is armed. Got their checks out there. Looking good, feeling good, smelling good. Awesome. Let's see. Weird. Put that guy in hold there. Got a little preset. Alright. We'll slow her down to about 180. And let her line out there. Got localizer captured.
Stabilizer motion.
And we'll come on down to about 4 grand. About 500 foot per minute will do. That's up for that old intercept. Looks like the wind flipped on us as well, but here. And I want to make sure we there we go. There we go. Right, should be catching that glide slope. Alright, glass up picture, we'll go ahead and call gear down. A little behind on that one, but it's alright. I think we can make a shake there. Alright.
Gear down.
Go ahead and call that next notch of flaps.
Flaps 15.
And speed checks. We'll sprinkle another dash of flaps in there. hitting that alpha speed, so it gets flaps 28 expeditiously.
Flaps 28.
25.
Alright. Right there, we'll go medium on auto brake.
2500.
Definitely a spicy approach, so get myself settled. Let's get some windshield wipage going on here. My controls. We'll catch it here before minimums. Find that flight director. Stable. Runway in sight. Woo, we are off. I'm not letting it go around.
130. 30.
Yep. And flash 15. Alright, man, we'll come up to 5,000 there. Wants us to hit HVQ and hold. And so we'll get her set up and we'll try it again. Alrighty, hit all kinds of sketchiness on that approach, right? So, so the old saying, you can always go around. Definitely run true there. So, we're on a right now end basically, and we'll get ourselves set up here and situated for ILS 23. Seems like the wind shifted on us, so we'll try for the ILS. Runway 23 here. So I'm gonna spin this down one out, get ourselves nice and situated. Don't want to rush nothing, right? So we'll come out, get her nice and lined out, and we'll try it again. Definitely got a little precip, so want to be mindful of that. And also went ahead and adjusted our speeds for that also. Make sure we don't run into similar issues. Alright, I'm going to zoom this guy in for a little bit. There we go. Alright, so we're about 18 out actually. So let's see if we can make this guy take this turn here. We'll come down to about 200. About 200, and then we'll make this turn. I think I can do it with my Bravo. There we go. Make this turn here and get ourselves reestablished on the ILS. Lots of heck down action, guys, on this one. Sorry about that. I was hoping for a nice scenic arrival. It was cloudy when I looked at the weather earlier, and it just took a turn for the worse, which happens, right? And it says as aviation at its truest. So we'll make do here. Actually, what we can do, we can go direct. Put that waypoint in there, and we'll execute that, and put that fella in now. There we go. I should track there nicely. I pulled up the approach on my tablet. Hopefully we can get some navigaph action here at some point, where we can bring those charts. We can bring those charts in there. I also need to adjust my pressurization. That's weird how everything. Everything and sorry guys, I'm looking at my cam again. There we go. I have to undiscombobulate myself. Alright, about 7 out. Let's go ahead and get a buck, see if she'll give us a buck 80. She'll give us a buck 80 and go ahead and arm that ILS. And get set up for this approach here. So this isn't a Cat 1, Cat 2, or Cat 3 certified runway, but we might try a couple to see if it bears fruit. And then a smidge there. Got plenty of gas, so worst case we can always get over there to Charlotte. I believe is our alternate. So got a little rain. Roll those wipers there. That glide slope's coming alive. We're just gonna monitor it. Right. We'll start about 600 foot per minute descent. It's set to auto arm, so we should auto arm for us. Of course, if this was real world, we would just about have to go to our alternate, but of course we're gonna send it on this one.
2,500.
Alright.
2500.
We'll go ahead and hold 34.
2500.
Alright, they should catch that glide. Let's slow her down to 170, gear down. And start working our way down to VREF. Work our way down to VREF there. Working our flaps in. That's our speed brake, I mean our auto brake there. Go ahead and call for 28. Get her nice and stable. Make sure our speed brake is armed. Alright. But there we're in landing configuration. The auto brake will not arm unless you are in landing configuration, which is crazy, but that's what they got it. So. And we'll hold 146 on this one. The winds are a little janky. We did VREF plus like 6 on. Woo.
1000.
Stable. Alright. And guarding that toga button. See if we can catch anything of the runway environment. Watching her there. Yep, there we go. I got her. My controls.
300. Terrain. Light slope. Terrain. Light slope. 30.
I'm out of it.
20. 10.
Bursers.
2 in reverse.
Can't play no games with this one, guys. There.
Reverse lights out.
Alright, there she goes. We'll go ahead and hit the switch there. It's supposed to disengage for some reason. It doesn't. No idea why, y'all. No idea why. It's been reported, but typically you should be able to tap on the brakes, disengage the auto brake, but no idea why. Hoo hoo hoo! Holy smokes, guys! Ivy James Brown, if my first return back to the tube. We get some shenanigans, guys, but it was, I would not trade it. I would not trade it for the world. So we'll can we make this left? I think we can make this left. Up there, yes, let's make this left. Oh, alright, let's go ahead and woo, it was not pleasant out there today, that's for sure. Alright, here, I'll get her. Find us an appropriate gate. I'll get the airplane cleaned up all at the same time. It's always fun, right? Alright. Let's see here. If I can get the auto ignition off. Kind of looking for us a spot. I think we'll come up a little bit. Alright, and while we're making our way in, we'll go ahead and both of those off, flight directors off. Let's go ahead and get the our anti-ice equipment off. Come up on a little bit, come up on the gas a little bit. Alright. There's park. Let's see here. Phenomenal flight though. Just really kind of shows you how versatile this aircraft is. Yeah, I think we'll hit 84. I can get her cranked over there. Come on, old girl. You can do it. Crank over there. There you go. There you go. Not the perfect parking job here, but it is a parking job nonetheless. Let's see here, get her keeled over here. Oh, off kilter here, but hey, let's see if she'll power back. Let's try that. Let's try that. I know this has been all but outlawed, but hey, this is the sim. Too cool. Too cool. Too cool. I am loving it. I am loving it. Alright, let's see if we can get her lined up here. Let's see. Alright, let's try her again. So I'm applying for a power, but again, you know, it takes a minute to respond. Alright. Alright, there we go. Get her lined up. And not textbook, but hey, that'll do, Donkey. That'll do. Alright, let's go ahead and get back in the airplane here and get her all shut down. Alright, so by now APU should be done simmering on medium heat, so we'll go ahead and get her on, get that guy on, and won't delay. We'll go ahead and get 1 off and 2 off. Hit that parking brake. Go ahead and get our pneumatic valve open on the APU. Get both cross bleeds open both sides, and get that filler off. Go ahead and get that off. And leave the right pump on. We'll slide over here to the right. Get that trans pump off. Auxiliary and auxiliary hydraulic pump off. Any collision light off. We'll go ahead and park those wipers. And let's go a little brief over here. Make sure everything's solid. We can go actually turn off the high pressure bleeds on the bring it down, bring the high pressure bleed off. We'll keep those off. I'll just leave that on there, so it should be good. And yep, we'll see how these services work for us here. All right, let me go and get my radio menu here on. Call up Charleston ground and services. Oh man, I think if you did that real world, they would probably tell you to call the number. All right, there we go. All right, we're all hooked up there. And see if we can press onboarding. Wait, we'll fast there, but hopefully GSX will line us out here once they get that together. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, I believe there's a way you can get to it as well. The menu here, aircraft services menu as well here, but I'm not quite sure how. So again, that's when we gotta read the manual, right? So, and if you do run into a situation like this where your slats are extended, you can leave them down. I mean, once the hydraulics depressurized, they'll kind of droop anyway over time, but if need be, you can just bring that guy up and they'll disc relight and they'll find themselves out there. And turn that off there, and we'll get the engine trimmers off, and yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Of course, there's the actual procedure expounds on much more, right, than just what we covered, but essentially that's the basic there. Yeah, I can't think of any kind of gotchas thus far. For the most part, that's pretty much it. Again, this is an airplane. This is not an airplane. You just kind of take up, and it's definitely something that demands a little more of our time. But to me, I think that's what attracted me to this particular airplane for ever since 2009. I remember when this aircraft was first released for like FS9 or something crazy like that. It didn't even have a virtual cockpit, so it's just like, how far we have come with technology to be able to, just enjoy this. This is just crazy, guys. Just crazy. So definitely check it out if you have it. I think it's 75 euros. If you have any questions or any improvements, again, guys, came out of retirement a little bit for to show you guys. It's been focusing quite a bit on the podcast. So, again, anything pops up, any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to drop them down there in the comments below. But until next time, guys, I hope y'all enjoy this airplane. If there's anything else that comes up, I'll definitely post another video, and we'll discuss it then. But until next time, guys, keep the blue side up.